This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter. I'm welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. I know that this birthday boy is deceased, but I'm still gonna do it because of the way he was in a game. His name is Ralph Branca. He was born January 6, 1926, and died in 2016. But he played 12 years in baseball. He played for Brooklyn, Detroit, and the Yankees. Kind of weird he played for the Yankees. Anyway, he was a three-time All-Star, but unfortunately he's remembered for his moment in a 1951 playoff game. Anyway, Ralph Branca was the 15th of 17 children. He had a couple of people killed at concentration camps. Well, he was Jewish, so anyway. He would play college baseball and basketball for New York University. He had asthma and a punctured eardrum, which meant he didn't have to do military service. So he went to Brooklyn to attend for baseball. And then at the age of 18 in June 1944, he actually played. He debuted and got 109 innings for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He's famous in 1947, the same day as Jackie Robinson's debut against the world, like being the first black athlete in the MLB history. Ralph Branca would line up on the field beside Jackie Robinson when players refused. He would put up a 21-win season as the starting pitcher, having the Dodgers get to the World Series, but they lost to the Yankees, which was a common theme for Brooklyn to lose to the Yankees in the World Series and all that. So he was pretty good in the league, being second in wins in 47. Anyway, he led the NL in win-loss percentage at .722. Anyway, before we get to his famous moment in baseball, he actually couldn't pitch well after that thing in 1951 because he suffered a back injury in spring training. He did pitch in Game 7 of the World Series in the 8th inning. He was ejected for bench jockeying by the home plate umpire. He was only the second player in MLB history to be ejected from a World Series game. Because a lot of people on the Dodgers bench would yell at the umpires and all that, and they would be upset and would randomly send off players from the bench. All that. Branca started 53 with Brooklyn, but then was claimed on waivers by the Tigers. They released him in 1954. He pitched 5 games for the 54 Yankees. Ironically, in the one season, it seemed like the only season the Yankees missed the World Series, as it were. Between 1949 and 1959, only 58. The only time the Yankees weren't in the World Series was 54, and that was when Branca pitched 5 games for them. Branca would pitch in the minors for Minneapolis in 1955 and had arm injury. He was on Old Timers Day for the Yankees, thinking his career was over. But the Dodgers would sign him for the last month of the 56th season, making one appearance but not in the World Series, even though the Dodgers went to the World Series. In a 12-year career, Branca was 88-68. Unfortunately, he's famous for one moment only. As I don't remember if I said it in one of my things. Yeah, the shot heard around the world. When you look at my October 3rd thing last time, it was just terrible. The Dodgers and the Giants weren't supposed to be in this tiebreaker in the first place. The Dodgers had an insurmountable 13-game lead on the Giants. Because remember, in those days, back in 1951, you had to win the AL and NL to make the World Series. No other things. So, anyway, was huge, with the Dodgers and the Giants facing each other in the best of three tiebreaker. Game 3 was at the Polo Grounds. Both teams won a game already. Branca would come into the game to relieve Don Newcomb in the bottom knife, who was pitching on fumes as it seemed. Whitey Lockman was on second base, and Clint Hartung, the pinch runner, was on third. In his first at bat, Branca was warming up with Carl Erskine, but Erskine was bouncing curveballs in the dirt and said that Branca should do it. Despite the fact that, ironically, Bobby Thomson, the guy who did the shot heard around the world, actually was the guy who hit a late homer off Branca in Game 1. So Branca faced one batter, gave up the home run to Bobby Thomson, and got the New York Giants into the 1951 World Series. Thankfully, though, they would lose the World Series in 6 games to the Yankees. But anyhow, it should kind of not count in a sense because, the larceny, the Giants stayed with the sign stealing system. A lot of Brooklyn players said that there's no playoff larceny during the 3-game playoff, mostly because the commissioner's office was present and a lot of dignitaries and all that. A lot of people were shocked because it was possible at the Polo Grounds because, the clubhouse was 470 feet away from home plate. They had to use a telescope. All of that. Anyway, Thompson hit the home run off Branca at Ebbets Field, and the Dodgers crushed the Giants 10-0 in the second game. Anyway, it didn't really matter about that. And as I said, that there was another issue with the sign stealing that said that it helped the Giants win the 1951 pennant. Lest we forget that the Giants actually were had a better winning percentage on the road. So basically, you take away one of the road wins, then things change. Branca was just upset and all that. Branca actually was friends with Bobby Thomson and all that. A lot of people said that Bobby Thomson was tipped off by this thing. Branca was actually a pallbearer at Jackie Robinson's funeral in October 1972. He was even in the movie Parental Guidance. So that's kind of strange and all that. I don't know about that movie. I'll have to take a look at it. But anyhow, one of the biggest moments of his life was in 1963. He was on the TV show Concentration, and he won 17 straight games. So he was a concentration legend. Strange how they allowed him to be a contestant on a game show, even though that he's famous for being a ball player. But yeah, he's happy as can be, but he died November 23rd, 2016 at the age of 90. Well, anyway, Branca did marry Anne Mulvey, whose parents were part owners of the Dodgers. And they married in 1951, shortly after giving up the home run. In fact, one of their kids, their daughter Mary, married Bobby Valentine, the famous manager. And their other daughter lives in Fort Myers, Florida. So, yeah, Ralph Branca was a very good guy. It was weird how he was on a quiz show and all that, and they allowed him to be on the quiz show, and he was dominant. A little too dominant, if you ask me. Anyway, that's all I got. So, this is Jeff Diamond. I do.